Hi, everybody. Welcome to Magic Universe. This is Message from Universe 18. This reading is timeless and has a message for you for whenever you watch it. It's also a part of the Pick a Message playlist, and the information for how to play with the playlist is in the description below. These messages from Universe are general readings for the group. If you're interested in a private reading or healing that is just for you, you can go to my website at magicuniverse.co. That's .co. Thank you. So here is message from Universe 18. Enjoy. All right. So it looks like some of you guys have some healing and releasing to do. There are actually several different messages going on here. So, but in like the lower portion of the reading, it's a lot about like having this period of time to release any kind of like heavier energies, right? And allowing yourselves to open up to receive the love that's coming to you, okay? So, but we'll get into that in a minute. Let's start with the first card. The first card, Marie Masquerade, Glamour, Intrigue, Drama. I find it interesting that the first three cards, all these ladies have these big kind of billowing dresses on. There's a message here along with the Six of Swords that has to do with, actually, you know what? Now that I look at it and then I see all the healing messages below, this might all be one big message for some of you, okay? But I feel like for some others of you, there's a separate energy going on that's a little bit faster that shows up in the second part of the first row. But there's this one big message, one big energy about there being, again, you know, like the waiting game, the waiting period of you're either generating something in the middle of creating like an incubation, or like when you're, what's that word, gestating. I keep thinking ingest, and I'm like, no, you're not ingesting a baby. You're you're going through a gestation period where you're the baby or the creativity or something is forming within you, okay? So you see that in the Empress. There's actually a little baby in the picture if you look real close. So for some of you, that might actually be a physical baby, but I feel like for the most part, most of you, there's something that's generating, like an energy inside you that's generating, that's going to become something, a creation in your life. And this could be, you know, like a relationship, a career, you know, anything in your life that you're it starts as an energy first, right, before it manifests into physical reality as like a thing or a situation or something like that that you can physically experience. So I'm seeing that in the Marie Masquerade, the Four Pentacles, and the Empress, where and then the Six of Swords talks about like going from a place, like from A to B, right? So that could mean from a place of like a lower energy and then moving into a higher energy. So that could be that could mean healing. So it could be physical healing, emotional healing, or a place of not having something to having something. Okay. So basically, there's like a starting point and then a destination, right? Where it's a different place. Okay. And so that occurs, you know, like say we're talking about an actual pregnancy. First you start off with no baby, and then you go through the gestation, you go through the creation of the baby within you where you're not seeing it yet, and then your belly starts to grow and you're like, "Ooh, I'm seeing, you know, physical signs of it," right? And then the baby comes out and now you actually have the baby. And the baby could be you know, different things, right? It doesn't have to be a human baby. It could be like the job, or, you know, whatever it is that you're wanting to create, a house, or, you know, whatever it might be, right? It could be also like an emotional state, a psychological state that you want to be in. So maybe you have in your mind a potential you that you want to be, or like the I'm going to use the word perfect, although I know a lot of people don't like the word perfect because it seems like an impossible, goal to have, right? But I'm going to use the word perfect because that's the word that they're showing to me. That perfect meaning it's the you that you want to be. So that might be different for everybody, right? I mean, perfect doesn't have to mean, the richest person or the most beautiful person, but like the one that you want to be. And you might want to be a certain type of way. And then all of those pieces added together becomes the you that you want to create as you, and that is the quote perfect you for you, right? So that's what they're meaning by that. And so in this message, they're saying that you're going through this period of time where you're gestating, where you're creating this beingness. And so the Marine Masquerade, it shows up like this because it's like Masquerade, it talks about not something that's not shown, right? There's a you that is shown to the world, and then there's a you of what's actually going on. Maybe it's not seen, maybe it's not even seen by you, right? But it could be felt from within. Sometimes something, like you have desires about how you want something to be, and that's within you, but it's not manifested into physical reality where everybody else can see it yet, right? So there's different there's that A to B that I was talking about, right? There's the version of you that you're generating within, and then there's the version of you that when it manifests, it could be seen by other people, right? So this is talking about like allowing yourself to be in that state where there's an inner you and there's an outer you, and that's okay because it's not, you're going through the process of it. You haven't reached the end of it yet where it could be seen, but along the way, you're like traveling to the destination. You're somewhere in between point A and B, right? And then the Four of Pentacles talks about like keeping something close to you, keeping something within you, and you see how there's like these bars here where there's like an inner you and then there's the outside you, right? Or like the inner you that you see, and then how other people can only come in so far. They can't come into your space. They can only look at you from the outside. So there's like, it's talking about like allowing there to be that kind of separation between what you're creating on the inside and what other people are able to see, and having that be okay, and having that kind of like faith and knowing within you that whatever it is that you're generating on the inside, this quote baby that you're growing within you, other people don't need to know about it. And if they, if they know about it and they're asking about it, or they're questioning it or whatever, or they're doubting it for any reason, like that, let that be on the outside of the gate, right? Let you be in your house of your own security, of your own knowing, that you're behind your mask of, I know who I am, and this mask is just showing the rest of the world what they're able to see. But if you're not able to see what's actually going on within me, it's okay, because I'm gestating, I'm creating something beautiful, right, within me. And it's like being in this state of the traveling towards the destination and being okay on that ride to where you're going, right? And I feel like some of you might be in this state of on your way to somewhere and not feeling so great about it, because it's all about perspective, right? You might be in this state where it's like, okay, there's all this stuff inside me that I want to express out into the world, but gosh, the world's not seeing it yet because I'm not able to fully express it out there yet, and I'm feeling bad about that. Like if you look at the Six of Swords, the lady in the clouds, like that's not all good looking right there, right? It's like all black clouds and stuff like that. But if you'll notice, there's a star up above, right? So it's like, change your perspective about how you're viewing this. This might be a healing journey for you, right? So, and you can basically call anything a healing journey in the sense that you're moving into a better and better and better place. So from wherever you are, moving on to a better place, right? That during this journey that shift your perspective to look at it where it's like, I'm growing this thing, I'm creating this thing, and it's okay for me to be where I am. And it's okay that other people can't see it yet. There's this whole thing, I feel like, about when you try to look at your own growth from the outside, from other people's point of view, it's never going to feel good because they can never really truly see in there and see what you're really growing until you actually get it out there. But that doesn't mean that you're not growing. That doesn't mean that the thing that you're creating is not becoming. Like, the other people on the outside, they have to be in a very, very high vibration in order to be able to see through the physicalness of you and really look into you and see who you really are and see what you're generating in there. And some people can do that, but most people, they'll just look at you on the surface, go, oh, I'm not seeing that success. I'm not seeing, whatever. I'm not seeing the baby. I don't see you pregnant. I'm not seeing, and they won't be able to know that you're in the process. You know what I mean? They'll just see that it's not there, and so universe is basically letting you know that if you're in this state where you're waiting for something to happen and it hasn't happened yet, like, don't look at yourself from the outside where those people aren't able to see it because they're only looking for physical evidence. You have to switch your perspective and let yourself be in this private space of knowing inside you that the quote baby is coming, that the creativity is coming, it's becoming, everything is becoming, and it's all of it is energy before it becomes physical. Okay. And this is the really, really big message of encouragement. Okay, so I'm going to jump down actually to the second row, where they're letting you know, like, if you look at the third card, I love you. This is your spirit talking to you. This is universe talking to you. Like, there's so much love for you here. And some people who are watching this reading, you're needing to hear this because maybe you're not, maybe you've been looking from the outside people's point of view and not able to see the love coming from them because they're only looking at you at the surface of you, right? And universe wants you to know you have to bring your perspective back inside yourself. Start Two of Wands, the first card on the second row. Start looking out there and creating your reality, creating your beingness the way you want it to be. Start imagining how you want everything to be. Not what it is right now, where physically when you look at it, it's not there. You have to go inside your imagination. And the second card, listen, right? Close your eyes, go inside your imagination. Listen to what your spirit is calling you to. Listen to the universe saying, I love you. I love you. They love you, okay? Listen to who you really are and seeing that becoming of you, okay? And I actually really like this picture in the listen card where she's underneath the ground and it's like, here you are. Oh, I'm just noticing, yeah. So if you're say this girl underneath the ground is an energy, right, is an energy being, is you becoming, right, on the surface from the ground level above, you can't see her because she's down there in the ground, but she's growing all of these flowers and plants and stuff like that up above, right? It's like the surface people can only see the flowers, but your spirit and the high vibration people that I was talking about, right? Like those people who can really, really see you underneath there growing and listening, like those, most of the world will not be able to see you underneath there growing. But you have to be able to see yourself underneath there growing, right? Before you become ripe enough, where it's harvest time, where you're able to shoot out from above the ground and be and fully express who you are on the physical realm, which is coming. But a lot of times as we grow, it's not like you become enlightened and all of a sudden you're an enlightened being forevermore. It's not really like that. It's kind of like within the process, you'll grow a little bit. You shoot up a flower here, shoot up a plant there, you know, and it's like a continual process of growth and becoming, growth and becoming. So like a little part of you shows, the little part of you shows, and then like maybe more and more of you shows, but then even as you do that, there's always more down deep under the ground in the roots where you're growing even more, right? So there's always going to be a part of you that's invisible to the physical eyes, right? And there will be a part of you that's like still in gestation, still becoming as you continue on with your life experience, okay? So, becoming very comfortable with that idea of continual growth. Yeah. So in the waiting game and heartache and loss, so some of you might be in that place where you know you're needing to let go of the heartache and loss. There's some pain, okay, that you're going through where it's not feeling so good, maybe some grief, and therefore you're thinking of this as like kind of almost like a non-movement type of place where you're not really stuck, but your perspective of your where you are might feel like you're stuck, okay? But the bigger picture, if you step outside of that situation, whatever it is that or mood that you're in, right? That it's not really like you're stuck. It's more like you're going through a process. It's still a process and there's movement, but because you're in it and you're looking at it from that point of view, that it might look like it's not moving anywhere, but it actually is. You kind of have to like stick your head out from under the water and be able to see that, okay, you know, this is a process and I'm moving from A to B, and there is a traveling. It's kind of like if you're on a plane and it's moving at, I don't know how fast planes move, like hundreds of miles per hour or something like that, right? But on the plane, it doesn't really feel like you're moving that fast, right? So there is movement, but you might not feel like you're moving that fast, but there is actual movement. And you can see that in the Eight of Wands on the first row, the fourth card. That Eight of Wands talks about fast movement. So it's like, take a look at these two cards, Six of Swords and Eight of Wands. They're both these characters that are in the sky, flying through the sky. One of them is looking like all black clouds, like I'm not really seeing, you know, I'm not really feeling it, right? And then the other one, this girl, she's flying on her log with her little kitty cat, and she's loving it. She's flying through the sky, right? Moving from A to B, looking, she's still like not yet at her destination, but she's so looking forward to being there, right? She's looking ahead, right? And it's like you get to choose which perspective you look at your situation from. Do you want to look at it like, oh, you know, it's horrible, oh, heartache and loss, and it's going to be like this forever, and you know, even though I am moving, you know, maybe you're not recognizing that yet, but you are moving from A to B, that you're not seeing it, you know, you're not seeing the that you can so easily shift out of that mood just by changing how you look at things. And so that even though you're not at, either way, you're not at the destination yet, but when you look at the Eight of Wands, it could be so bright, your future, right? It could be so bright where you're going to. And as you're flying through, getting to your point B destination, then even before you get there, you're already starting to see, oh, there it is. I'm seeing it there now, right? Whereas in the Six of Swords, maybe if you're in a gloomier state, that you're not looking ahead and you're just like looking at where you are and feeling down about it, that you're not even able to see that you're almost there, right? So, you know, you can prolong your stay in the sky and not reach your destination by staying in that gloominess, or you can, clear that up, release, right? And shorten the waiting game and allow yourself to, even though you're still not there yet, but allow yourself to believe and to see that you're almost there, that you're on your way there, right? Okay. So, all the while when I was getting all of these cards, I was like, wow, this is a lot about healing, a lot about healing. And then I picked the duck card and it's like, healing. Okay. So you got skillful navigation, ease, affirmation. I navigate the worlds of spirit, creativity, and emotion with grace. And I love this picture. Like, oh, here's another girl with a cat. I like it when cards from different decks show similar imagery, or like, yeah, so that you see connections and things in the imagery, right? So with this one, we were talking about the surface of things and then the underneath of things, right? So you also have this water imagery where the ducks dive down, right? In this particular image that I'm seeing, how the little duck is diving down towards the hearts and stuff like that. I feel like sometimes, well, most of the time when people go through this kind of process or this kind of like healing scenario where they're in a not so good place and moving towards a better place, right? Or in a place where they're not yet seeing their creation towards a place of creation, that it feels like it's not a good thing. Like if you're ever in a place where you're in pain, you're always like, this is not good. I should not even be in this space. I want to be in a pain-free, happy space all the time, right? But this, I feel like, is talking about, is part of the process. The pains that you go through, the places where you're not yet having the thing, that part of the journey is a very important part of the journey, because it's talking about creation. It's because you don't yet have the thing that you come up with the desire and the idea to want the thing, right? And then, so now you want the thing, the idea is bursting through you that, yes, I really, really want, I really, really desire this thing. That's how it's created in the universe. It's from the not having of it where it's birthed the wanting of it, right? And so I feel like that duck diving down into the hearts is talking about that. Like this part of the process is so important and necessary in the creation process of not having it. Okay. And then that creates the desire to want it. And then now that you want it, now it's created energetically in the universe. And then you, the physical being, are going through the process of manifesting it into the reality, okay, into the becoming, okay. All right, so the back of this card says, you will move through tricky circumstances without becoming entangled in drama, negativity, or ego. Oh, that's so interesting. Drama, which shows up in the Marie Masquerade card too, where it goes glamour, intrigue, drama. Your inner self knows how to guide you through any situation. Do not worry about what others think or say about you. Oh, we were just talking about that, right? With the Four of Pentacles, right? Like viewing from the outside what other people might see or might not see of who you really are, right? It's like, don't worry about that. The truth will shine through and nothing else will stick to you. You are encouraged to look beyond the worlds you know into other realities and ways of being, trusting that you can adapt and thrive. I feel like that's saying there are some answers that are coming to you, like while you're on this journey towards your destination, that during the becoming process, there are answers that are actually coming to you, but you have to listen for it. You have to open yourself up, like remove your perspective from that kind of gloom and pain, right? And open yourself, open your eyes, open your ears in order to receive the I love yous, receive the information that's coming to you, okay? Use nourishing oils to I think they mean create. Create a protective barrier for your skin. As you apply the oil, imagine you are also applying a layer of psychic protection. So this, psychic protection, it just basically means, if you look at the Four of Pentacles, this is talking about like, I am focused on me and who I am, and you know, the security of my own house, right? And house representing your inner space. So I'm focused on my inner space, and when I'm in my inner space, no other energy from the outside can penetrate and come into my space without my permission, right? It's only when you're not home, right? When you as spirit are outside of your body for any reason, like either you're in fear, right, or you're in the heartache and loss, right, then your spirit kind of leaves your body. But if you can bring your spirit back into your body, and now you're occupied, your space is occupied by your spirit, right, where you and you become one, right, and you're in here, then nothing else from the outside, how people see you, how people doubt you, how people might have their opinions about you, none of that will affect you, right? It'll just bounce out off the gates, right? Off your front door, right? And so this is talking about that. Okay, that's beautiful. All right, so the death card just talks about transformation. And I think this is so funny because the death card is the end of one cycle, and then right after death comes the rebirth, right, in the beginning of the next cycle. And it is so funny that this card where the skeleton guy looks like he's bored, he's sitting around and he's bored, he's waiting for something, right? And I feel like this is the perfect image to go with the rest of this message, where it's like there's a waiting period, right? You're waiting through the transformation, and you're kind of almost getting into that bored space of, oh, when is the renewal going to come? When am I going to get to the destination, the B, the B destination? And I think that is so funny. So some of you might actually be going through this emotion while you're going through the journey of like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for such a long time and it's starting to become boring, right? Where it doesn't feel like I'm moving, but it's all about perspective. You change your perspective and you'll realize that you're in that Eight of Wands, that yeah, I'm flying through the sky, I'm getting there. I'm actually starting to see my destination now, forming right before my eyes. So this whole message is talking about release. In the beginning, I was saying that it looks like there's several messages, but now that I've talked through the whole thing, it looked like it was one message, but there's like, it might not, every part of it might not apply to each one of you. So like some of you might be in that flying Eight of Wands mode where it's like, okay, I'm going from A to B, and I am seeing where I'm going, and it looks bright to me. It looks really, really cool. But I'm still in the process. I haven't reached it yet. Like some of you might be like that. Some of you might be in the other place where it's more like a heartache and loss, and spirit is calling you to shift your perspective, allow yourself to see the growth that's happening where you're going, right? And then for some of you, it's you're in that planning phase, in the Two of Wands, and you're opening up your senses, your psychic senses, and hearing spirit tell you that they love you, receiving all of the love. So, I mean, it's all one message, and at the same time, there's little pieces of it broken up where each ones of you might identify which of the different pieces of it, right? Okay. I really do feel like somebody is in the Empress energy where it's an actual physical baby that's coming. Yeah. And it's a beautiful, beautiful state of being. What I'm seeing with the flowers and everything, it's looking really good. Very healthy. All right. So that's the message message from Universe 18. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, go ahead and click on the thumbs up, like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I will see you next time. Bye.